This is the eighth vision. The old man, the crocodile, and the great white lion. From Dave Campbell, February 5th, 2013 is when I had this vision. I was in a room watching a TV program. On the screen in front of me was an old man with a full white beard. He was lecturing using a model of a mountain he had made that looked like an exact replica of an actual mountain. The mountain stood in front of him and his head appeared behind it, and with his left hand holding a pointer, tapped on a cigar-shaped mound located at the top and front side of the triangular-shaped mountain. He spoke of this mound not in terms of what it was, but in terms of the time it took over the centuries to migrate to the bottom of the mountain. As he was discussing time, the mound, appearing like a one-person burial mound, began to move downward along the side of the mountain, beneath the surface of the mountain as he followed it down, moving the pointer downward as he spoke. Then I noticed I was not watching on TV, but was in the room with him, and as the burial mound moved down, I noted that the mound seemed to speed up, and its features and those of the mountain reflected time-lapse, as if I were watching time-lapsed video of a topographical changes that would have occurred over thousands of years, but instead it was happening in a moment of time. As the mound neared to the base, I noticed I could feel the sun and wind, and my gaze was fixed on the mound. Next there was a sea at the base of the mountain, and then the mound slipped beneath the surface in the water. I realized that I was no longer in the classroom, but standing in front of the mound, which would have placed me above the water, but I did not look to confirm if I were on the top of the water. The angle of view was as though I were still observing from the room and watching TV. As it moved down into the water, I drew much closer, and suddenly the burial mound broke open, and inside a lid of a coffin was opened. From inside the coffin, I saw a crocodile, fresh and plump, belly up, as though it were sleeping but not moving. Throughout the vision, I was in no hurry, and each phase of the vision allowed me plenty of time to consider each aspect I cared to observe for however long. So I noticed the crocodile looked alive but absolutely still. In another moment, the croc's belly lurched and split open, and the lion emerged, backing its way out from within the crocodile, as if the lion had been hiding or perhaps even gestating from within the croc's body. The lion shook itself dry and was completely white, youthful, powerful, and majestic. As I watched in amazement, the white lion shook itself one last time and leaped toward the beach. When the lion leaped, suddenly the old man, the lion, and I were standing on the deck of a wooden ship. The period had shifted to the 1930s, and the old man was now wearing the suit of a showman with a short-brimmed hat worn by members of a quartet. He was now apparently a lion keeper, and his pointer had become a cane. I noticed he had retained a full white beard, and the lion had grown to full size. They seemed to be old companions, not at all like a pet or a keeper. I walked about the deck, enjoying the view of the water, the structure of the vessel, and the keeper was standing against the railing watching me, waiting for an opportunity to speak. I was in no hurry to converse, but was taking in the scenes, and turning away I noticed my friends from high school, sweethearts that had married, were dressed in period clothes too. They did not speak with me and apparently were simply passengers and disinterested. Then the old man told me to lie down on the deck. At first, mostly because of my distrust of the lion, I refused. I then remembered it was just a dream, and so I reluctantly lay down on the deck. When I did, I noticed the lion getting up and standing over me on my left side. I was worried at first the lion would try to harm me, but I went with the circus man's act, as it were, and the lion seemed to reassure me of no harm. The old man then told me, "Write the word great on the lion's chest." I then noticed I had a grease pencil in my right hand, and so wrote "great" in the fur of the white lion's chest. It took a considerable amount of time because, after all, I was writing on a lion's chest in the long white hair. So I had to keep pressing down and redrawing until each letter appeared dark and complete. When I was done, the white lion lay down and was quite pleased with me. He panted deeply and placed his paws on either side of me and allowed me to pat his head and ears. I hugged the lion and felt much like a friend to the beast. Whereas toward the magician, I was not as trusting of him, but I did not distrust him either. After enjoying the moment and having read and reread the word great several times, the dream was over.